All right, we got one person. Hold on, I got my red lights on, like it looks red. It's the focus. Hold on, let me turn that off. Ooh, three people. All right, guys. I didn't even post about this one. It just happened because I didn't get to go live last week. Um, I worked and then yeah, I just had 24 million things going on. I've got a lot going on this week, this weekend, hence no live, right? But I had some time right now. I was like, it's 9 p.m. It's really late, but whatever. We're just gonna go live for a little bit. I missed you guys. And yeah, so who's all in here? We got Giovanni, BMX JT, JDA, Lucas. How is life, guys? Lucas, you've missed a few, but I've also missed a few. So it's okay. Don't worry about it. Um yeah. So I'm like, I was torn today, right? Because I needed to either film Sunday reviews, the 2022 Sunday bikes, or the 2022 kink reviews. And I didn't film any of them. It was like, should I film these reviews? Should I do a live? Like, I don't know what to do. And here we are doing the live because I have so much fun doing these with you guys. And what was I gonna say? Uh oh, Lucas broke his toe. That's crazy. I haven't rode in almost a month because of my ankle or my foot. I don't know which one it is. Lucas, I hope you heal up soon. BMX JT got to go to Woodward. Which JT, did you go to East or West? I feel like you're in East, right? Jared got the Colony. What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? Which Colony? You got, didn't you get an 18-inch or 16-inch or something, right? So I posted this thing on here and I said, how do you feel about my reviews, knowing that I've never ridden the bikes that I review? And actually, you guys gave me some good feedback. I think out of the 100 and some votes, only 11%. Let's look. Let's look. All right, 127 votes. 87% said they're the best on YouTube still. I appreciate you guys. 13% said they suck, bro. So, I'm not too worried about it because I think the difference with how I do the reviews, right, versus how other reviews are, is that I feel like I'm not necessarily reviewing the bikes, but I'm more so explaining a lot of the specs, explaining a lot of details, and helping you guys figure out if it's the right choice for you or not. Like who's it for? What kind of riding is it for? Things like that, where I don't necessarily need to have my hands on the bike to review it. And that's kind of my take on it. But it was good to see some of this. Like one guy said, to be honest, you just read the description. I'm like, well, not really, but that's a good point. Okay, I see his point. Um, does anyone have any questions? I'm just kind of rambling. Sean says, would you be able to do a review on the 2022 Sunday Forecaster Ross? Yes, Sean, that's something I'm looking at doing right now. It's either so I need to work on the kink reviews and the Sunday reviews for the 2022 lines, but I haven't yet because my dumbass, I decided that to make what I'm doing a little bit more in depth and a little harder to copycat, I created the Dougster Bob scoring system, right? Which still needs tweaked, but essentially, before I can even review the bike, I have to add all the bikes to the scoring system so I have references and I can see where they fit in. I can see what the bike's good for and stuff like that, and kind of take away more than just the specs. So it's like I have this big long process that I usually do before I even get to the video reviews. The website post, add it to the score, all kinds of different things before I even do the video review. But I'm thinking about just jumping ahead and reviewing them. But I need to add the scores because that's a big part of the video. But I am going to restructure how I do the videos because from the feedback that I got on that question is I don't want it to be like I'm just reading it. So it might not even be me sitting here. I might be doing it at the whiteboard. I might be doing it outside. I don't know. But I'm going to do a restructure and see how they turn out. I'm really excited for it. But yes, that'll be on there, Sean. Just give me probably a month, honestly, before I film it and edit it. Lucas injured his back doing backflips on the trampoline. I saw a lot. Oh my god, he was on the stretcher and everything. Bro, heal up fast. That's a spooky thing because your back literally controls, like, everything. So be careful with that. Okay, yeah, Jared got the 14-inch with the Colony. Um, I was talking about that earlier, is that with, so I talked with the dance comp guy. He did a Q&A and I posted some questions to answer. You guys saw that. And so we went for about 3 hours. Around 2 hours was his video and then an hour was mine. And a lot of that came up with Colony, is that they carry Colony and not many places do. But I was super impressed with the quality of my Colony parts. So I'm glad you're impressed with your Colony. Even at a 14-inch, that's crazy, Jared, that they put that much amount of detail into that bike. That's insane. Luis says, what is, oh, so we're gonna have Mike on one of these lives. He's the, like I said, the dance comp guy, so he can answer some questions too. Luis says, hello. My new BMX just came in and I'm loving it. Thanks for the help. Thanks for helping me choose the Sunday X. You're welcome, Luis, man. I'm glad I could help. It's my goal, right? As you guys know, is to get 1 million people into the sport. So every time I hear something like that from Luis, I just add a mental tally mark to my ongoing list of people that I helped get into the sport. So Luis, good job. Now tell your friends to get into BMX so that we can further the mission, we can grow the sport, we can just make it blow up. That's the goal. Lucas said my back made a horrible crack and I couldn't breathe. Once I got to the hospital, it turned out I just pulled a lot of stuff. All right. It's kind of spooky when you can't breathe, like when you knock the wind out of yourself and you're just um glad you're good. So you just pulled some stuff. You just need to rest. You're fine. I can't think of a name. Said I'm thinking about getting a Sabrosa Rose. Any thoughts on the value and the strength? Is that a complete? I feel like I've had to look at this before, but I thought it was just a frame. Yeah, it's just a frame. Okay. Well, this came up. Another question I asked is I put the clip of somebody asking me about the best frame under 300. And I said, there is no such thing. I said, they're all going to be over 300 for decent quality. And a lot of people commented with some frames that they're good quality for under 300, but they're not the best. So like the Rose frame is one of those. It's 288 bucks on source and it doesn't tell you anything about the material. But I mean it's going to be full chromoly, right? It has gussets and it's okay. One thing you get with the more expensive frames, so like the Sundays, for example, they have internal gussets, right? They have the wave down tube to keep that extra strength. They keep it from bending, thicker dropouts, all kinds of different things go into those more expensive ones. Instead of normal heat treated chromoly, they use like Senko, right? Or just different kinds of treating to it and higher quality chromoly. But if it's an aftermarket frame is going to be 6 million times better than the frame that comes on there. So if you're looking at the Rose, I think 288 is a really good deal for it. Um, it looks solid. It comes in a smaller size. That was their goal with the Rose, is they created the Rose for those riders that are like 410, right? They're on an 18-inch bike, but they want to go up to a 20-inch. And I talk about that a lot, is how discouraging it is going from an 18-inch to 20-inch because you lose a lot of the tricks you've learned. It's a little harder to maneuver. You've got to do a bunch of different things. So if that's you, like that's a really good choice. But I think a lot of people are buying the Rose frame just because it's like a good price and not necessarily because they're a smaller guy that needs that compact geometry. Like it has a really short back end, it has a shorter top tube, it has a small standover height. So it's like a really responsive bike. And if you're my size trying to ride something like that, it's going to be a disaster. Okay. Yeah. Look, you said frame at the end too. That's funny. I think I saw BMX JT went to Woodward East. That's super sick. I miss it. I see so many videos right now from my friends at West and then people at East. I haven't been in, it's been like 2 years now since 2019. And I really, really miss camp. It's such a good experience. I hope you learned lots of new tricks, JT. If you did, throw it in here because we're super curious for you. I hope you learned backflips. and 360s. Louis says, "What pegs should I get, metal or plastic?" We answered this on the Dan's Comp interview. I think get the cheapest pegs. Pegs are very, very, very overpriced, and I like almost never recommend pegs just because again, they're overpriced. Um, so get the cheapest ones. Most of them are the same. I personally run the pegs with the plastic sleeves because you can do a lot more with them. I think they slide better. You can grind on a lot of different surfaces where the metal ones are pretty limiting. So yeah, that would kind of be my thing. But again, don't spend $30 per peg because they all grind the same. They all grind the same. Nico Davis says, "Are bikes restocking this year? 2021 models question mark." I think so. It sounds like there's that huge delay. Everything's delayed. So Kink already rolled out their 2022 bikes. They've got the lower end models for sale already, and to the dealers. Sunday, same thing. The lower end bikes are restocked. They're out to the dealers now. Usually, like We the People launches a little bit later than Kink and Sunday. Fit a little bit later, so those brands are a little bit later. I don't think 2021 bikes are coming back. I could be wrong, except Fly. I think Fly's going to do their 2021 lines. I saw on their website that they'll be shipping in October 2021 bikes. Other than that, though, Fly's again always really late to the party. So like Kink comes out early in the year. They're behind this year. And then like towards the end of the year, Fly comes out with their 2022 bikes. And so they're just really behind. And I think Fly's still going to do 2021, but I think everyone else is moving over to 2022. And here's the thing for you guys that are still looking for bikes, because Sunday's bikes that were announced, their prices are way higher than they were last year. Kink's bikes way higher than they were last year. So you're going to see inflation on all of the 2022 bikes. I hope that's not true, but I'm just predicting that's going to be the case. All 2022 bikes are going to be 50 to 100 bucks more than the 2021 models. Now, usually they discount the 2021 models to get them out of here, but since most of the 2021 models are gone anyway, uh that's not going to happen. So if you guys can find anything right now and you don't want to wait, like jump on it, because those prices are going to be more expensive in 2022. They're not going to get any cheaper, and you're probably not going to get the last year model discount like you normally would. Things are really weird this year. All right, I'm just looking at some of these comments. Melvin is 5'7". What size top tube would you recommend? I would say It either a 20.5 or a 20.75. The 20.75 is probably going to be a little more stable and a little more controlled. The 20.5 is going to feel a little more snappy and responsive for you. So it depends on what kind of riding you want to do. If you like to air high, you like to go fast, but you don't necessarily like to do a bunch of tricks, then go with the 20.75. If you want to do 360s and 540s and all kinds of things like that, go with the 20.5. It's going to feel quicker and snappier. Who asked that? Melvin. Melvin asked that. Okay. Melvin, I didn't pin your comment, but there you go. Nico, I'm gonna personally that's a really tough question. So Nico's thinking about either going with the Sabrosa Let 'em or the We the People Justice. Which one should he go with? And I think the Let 'em is one of the best bikes. In the $500 to $600 bike comparison, like competition that I did, it won and it beat like the King Cloud. It beat a lot of those higher end bikes because I think for what you pay and what you get, it's a very good deal. The Justice is gonna be slightly better quality, but when you look at a bang like, the bang for your buck, the Let 'em is gonna be better because, again, for that price, you're getting all the pegs, the hub guards, the free coaster, the full chromoly. The Justice doesn't come with all the bells and whistles, but the general core quality of, like, the Salt Pro parts that come on it are a little bit better than what comes on the Sabrosa. So bang for your buck, go with the let 'em. If you don't really care, the justice is gonna be slightly better, but not a whole lot. Hold on, I gotta take a picture and put this on Instagram because people don't believe me. You know, next time somebody says, "Oh, you didn't go live," I'll say, "Look, I did, I did." All right. All right. It's there. Hold on. Hold on. I got to turn off the volume. Anyway, speaking of that, follow me on Instagram, Dougster Bob or BMX Douglas Laird. Also, guys, we have 16 people here, but only 3 likes. That's kind of disappointing. But, you know, if you guys are just shunning me because I didn't do a live last week, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And last thing, should we change the color? It's always this blue. Yellow. I don't like yellow. You know what? We're going to do that. The blue because I think that's the better color. So never mind. Forget I said anything. You know, carry on with the questions. That's cool. So JDA's kiddo, so he bought a bike. He was looking at the juvenile, I think, the Colt Juvenile, and they never got it in stock. And then it was expensive, things like that. So he ended up with a Colony 14-inch or 16-inch. I can't remember, a Colony for his kid. And look at that. His kid's riding, standing up, and doing a rolling can. I think that's really cool, man. And this is, look, for a lot of people, they wanna just be able to jump on the bike and, like, do tricks and progress right away, and it doesn't happen that way. Like, we jump on the bike, and then we ride around, and we build those foundational skills. So, like, him being able to stand up at that young of an age and take a foot off and cruise is, like, I think that's pretty crucial for 10 years down the road, he's gonna have those fundamentals. It's like racers who race their whole life and then get into BMX just progress so much faster than people who just start with freestyle. Like, I feel like I have a little handicap because I started with freestyle and didn't have the biking background that a lot of my friends did, you know, my friends that I ride with now. So it's a little bit unfair. Luis's stream is laggy, but his friends got him into BMX. So look at that. Your friend is helping me grow the mission, Luis. I'm glad you're in the sport. That's what it was for me. I think we just wanted to ride, right? And once I think I got the bike first, my friend got a bike, my other friend got a bike, my other friend got a bike, and then convinced his dad to build us a dirt half pipe and a box. And like, that's just how it works. Like, your friends, you guys want to be together, you want to hang out. And so riding bikes is the best way to do that for sure. Aiden bought a Sabrosa Salvador and hopes he didn't make a huge mistake. Aiden, if you're a brand new rider, the Salvador is going to be fine for you. That one of my friends that I was just talking about in elementary school, that was his first bike, and it was fine. You're gonna have to upgrade it as you progress, but for your first bike, dude, you're fine. I do think the Salvador is a little bit overpriced for the quality you get, but you already bought it, so it doesn't matter. Like, ride it now. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the sport. Keith, this is a fun question. I really like this question. Keith says, "Is it realistic to have 3 separate bikes for park, street, and trails?" What do you guys think? Throw it in the comments because this is fun. I've thought about this a lot. That's kind of a dream, right? Is you have your trail bike with certain trail geometries with a bigger sprocket in the front and dirt specific tires and a brake maybe, and then you have your street bike with pegs, hub guards, four-piece bars maybe, I don't know, sprocket with a bash guard, and then you have your park specific bike. I I love that idea, but I'm not sure how that would work because just on my bike, let's say I change my handlebars or let's say I change the frame, something drastic like that, I'm gonna feel that and it's gonna affect my riding. So if I go to the park today, I ride, whatever, blah, 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 I come home. Tomorrow I change the frame, I go to the park, it's gonna feel weird. Even when I change a tire, like I notice tires flatten out over time, right? So when you put a brand new tire on, it's nice and round, and you can really feel that difference. So imagine that you ride street one day and then you hop on the trail bike the other day. Your body and how you're used to the bike is going to be really thrown off. That's my opinion on it because it would just be so uncomfortable for me to jump from a bike I'm used to with a shorter top tube to a longer top tube with a different chainstay and things like that. It would be really hard to get used to that. And you'd spend a good portion of your session getting used to that geometry and everything. So I think it's a fun idea, but I don't know if the application would actually help you out there. I don't know. I don't know. But I'll never be able to afford like 3 different bikes like that. Now I do have a bike in my garage that's 90% built up, and then I have my bike right now, and I wanna build my bike right now to be more street specific and then build the other one to be park specific. So when I do that, I'll have a good answer for you, but I just think that that would be really hard. Luis says, "What grip should I get next? Because these current grips are eating away my palms and they're really uncomfortable." I will show you the grips that I ride. I think they're the S&M Hoders. Those are, in my opinion, the best grips. They're comfy, they're soft, they are just really good. However, they wear out pretty fast. So if you don't want grips that wear out really fast, don't get these. But if you want the most comfortable grips you'll ever ride, get these. I don't like ODI long necks. Here, I'll post the link in there for the Hoders. And yeah, that's my opinion for sure. Anakin Skywalker. He says, "What's the best beginner bike for $400?" I don't know. I feel like the 2022 Kink Gap is in that price range. Let me double check. If you, yeah, but if you can go up to 500, like I say it's only $100 more. Oh, the Gap is over that budget too. Dude, that's really tough. Um, let's look here what comes up because like I said, the prices got more expensive. So the Gap would have been under 400 for the 2021 model, but not anymore. And like I said, all the prices are changing. You can dude, get an extra $100 and get your budget up to 500 because you're going to be able to get a lot better quality for the bike. I just think it's crazy if people get a really cheap bike and hope that it lasts for a long time because there's little things that just don't work like they're supposed to. Like I can think of the compression cap, right? On the cheaper bikes it's a star nut or it used to be. I don't know if it is anymore. I think it is. And what happens when you over tighten that is it just comes out of the fork. So then to fix that, you can't just put it back in there. You have to buy new forks which are like $130 and new forks, okay, and just little annoying things like that that you don't see on these cheaper bikes. So if you can get an extra $100, get that budget to 500 and then get something like I think the Kink Whip is going to be right at 500 this year. Kink Whip is a really good choice. um Sunday X will be close to that. The forecasters actually, if it's going to be 100% chromoly, I think it's right at 500, and that's going to be a really good one also. The curb is under 400, but I just think for that price, the quality on the curb is not worth it. The fit, no, that's the Fit Series 1. Yeah, dude, under 400 this year, it's going to be really tough. Look for something, try and get it up to 500. BMX JT says, "Doug, do you know any bikes that are mid level and under 20.5-inch top tube? This is a problem. I'm going to fix this, but it's a problem because no, there really are none. Most of the bikes that come in 20.00 or 20.25-inch top tubes are high tensile steel single wall rims because generally the people on that size of top tube aren't very heavy. The people that should be on that bike are a lot lighter weight and they're very inexperienced. So generally, they're not breaking the bike as much. I think this is crazy because people still progress. And even if you're a little lighter, sometimes a heavier person buys the wrong size and ends up on a bike like that. But no, they don't really make them with full chromoly. They don't make them with double wall rims. I think they just kind of see it as a waste. And maybe it is. Like, I don't know. I haven't been manufacturing bikes very long. I've never been manufacturing bikes. But yeah, so I feel bad telling kids get this 20.5-inch bike because you're an absolute shredder. Or the only other option is to build up a completely custom bike, and that's very expensive. So you could get a 20.00 Sabrosa Rose frame and build that up, but that's going to cost you like $1,000. It's crazy. Oh my God, let's talk about X Games. Jared just says you guys see X Games. Hold on, I have a few more questions I have to get to. I got an Instagram arguments because of X Games. Instagram arguments, but hold on, I gotta answer this. I gotta answer this. Lucas Delatre says, "Yo, Doug, who is your favorite rider in X Games? Top three and why?" I'd say Matt Ray since I ride with him sometimes at his local. If we're talking about X Games Real Street, I haven't watched them yet. I'm going to, but I just haven't watched them yet. If we talk about, let's talk about Park because I love Kevin Peraza, one of my favorite riders ever. He's the homie. He kills it. He's always happy. Kevin, Daniel Sandoval, it's got to be number two. And I really love Pat Casey's riding. I'm kind of don't agree with him riding X Games, so he's out. He's out of the mix. Lost my respect. So it goes Sandoval or Peraza, Sandoval, and who else was even there? I don't like it. Andy Buckworth is really good, but I don't particularly love him. Um, who else? Who else was in X Games, guys? Help me out here. Help me out. And I'm thinking of one specifically, and I can't remember his name. I gotta look. I gotta look. What'd you guys think about the little what are 125cc dirt bikes that they were doing? Is that like it was kind of cool seeing Pat Casey rip it, but I just think it's kind of lame too to be in X Games. All right, BMX. Let's look BMX Park. Let's look at the results. I'm getting lots of ads for Velveeta cheese, and I'm not mad about it, really. Dennis Enerson. Okay, see, that's who I was thinking of. Love Dennis. I can't believe he didn't place either. That's crazy. So Kevin, Dennis, and then Sandoval. That would be my top three for sure. What are your guys' top three? JDA is gonna get his kiddo and his not his sister, his kid's sister, his daughter, into racing. Dude, I promise if you guys start doing racing in like 5 years and then they get hefty into freestyle, they'll be super good. Ox says we rode one bike for everything. We rode BMX racing bike for trails, ramps, and street. Yeah, I think that's how maybe people with a lot of money. Like I have a few friends, they're older friends in like Arizona that they all have a handful of different bikes just because they have that kind of money and they're like, I want this bike for this bike for that. But then again, they're not particularly riding a whole lot. So I think it's harder for them to notice the differences. Whereas, like, if I'm riding every day, I can notice hopping on a different bike or different geometries. Matthew says, I have a gray Colt Gateway and I'm planning on getting the gray camo Colt tires. Do you think it'll match? I think the gray camo tires will be a little bit of a darker gray, but I think that'll still look good with the gray Gateway. Yeah, I think that's cool. All right, hold on. I'm just finding a good question here. Anakin Skywalker says, my friend's grips were eating away at my palms. So, what would be some good grips. I was looking at the Colt Vans waffle grips. Would that be a good choice? I already posted the link in here for the Hoder grips. Those are the best ones, man. They are comfortable. The Vans grips I love because they're thicker and they're just I don't know, there's not a whole lot to it, but they're not very good on sweaty hands and they're not particularly comfortable. When I ride with gloves, I think those are really solid grips, but if you want something comfortable that's not going to eat away at your hands, go with the Hoders. EMB says, "I'm going to replace my Fit Series 1, sell it for 250. Good deal, good deal. And now he's got a $700 budget for a new one. What should he get?" Dude, that's a good budget. Look at the look, I was just saying this because I just saw it. Um, I don't know how much it is. Let me look real quick. The Colony Sweet Tooth Complete. Hold on. I wish I was faster at this. Oh, it's like $1,000. Never mind. Damn. Anyway, I'm gonna send this just because this is the bike, the frame I ride, and the complete for this is really solid. It looks amazing. It's full chromoly. It's like a top tier bike. Now, I'm not saying to save up a couple hundred extra dollars and get this bike, but it's a really nice bike, and it's look. You guys just check it out. Okay, hold on. Colony Sweet Tooth. Yeah, I can't think of a name. Says the Vans grips are not that great. Vaughn, what's up, Vaughn? Vaughn has a 2021 Salvador Park and is thinking about getting the Kink Williams frame and switching my parts. What are your thoughts on it? By the way, I mainly ride street and park. I think the Williams frame is pretty good. Um, I've got to double check because it's not one of the best ones. It's pretty high tier. So a lot of people commented on the frame video of me saying, "Oh, there's no good frames over under 300 because the cloud's in there." But the cloud isn't that great. Like there's a lot I don't know. If you're going to spend 300 on 250 on a frame, you might as well spend an extra 100 and get all the bells and whistles on the frame, like the chain tensioners, the thicker dropouts, the Senko chromoly, all that stuff. What do you call it? Double butted tubing, things like that. So it's thicker at the welds, just all kinds of different things that you don't get on the lower quality frames. Let me look at this. See, look, 100% seamless Senko 4130 chromoly tubing. That's good. And this is a $350 frame. So it's very heavy. It's almost 5 pounds. Anyway, it's responsive. So what did you say you were riding right now? Salvador Park. It's not going to be the head tube angle is going to be very similar. The chainstay is going to be very similar. Um, the standover height, though, on the Williams is a little bit taller since it's more of a street bike. But other than that, it's going to be responsive. It's going to be snappy. So you're going to enjoy it with park. And if your street riding is around technical riding, like I think of Jake Seeley a lot when I say technical street riding or Garrett Reynolds, then it's going to be a solid choice. But if your street riding is kind of something like Gary Young, you're going to want a little bit of a longer chainstay so you have more control and more stability when you're riding. Oh, somebody said it. Somebody said it. No, where is it? Oh, JDA says, "Oh, I don't him riding his own park was a big deal." So, I think you're saying you don't think it was a big deal. I think it's a scam. Here's why. Good. This is going to be a good clip because when I saw that, first of all, that's awesome. That is so cool that they did X Games at Pat Casey's house. I mean, it's like the house was built for it, right? With the park, with the trails. That's amazing. And Pat guaranteed made a good amount of money for hosting the event at his house. Okay. Boom. Lots of money. Good job, Pat. That's sick. Okay, but here's what's not right. I've learned since I posted this hateful comment on Instagram is that all the dirt jumps were completely rebuilt. So if that's true, if all of them were completely rebuilt, like that's fair. He should be able to compete on that. Now the park section, here's what is and I don't think it's necessarily right or wrong, but I just think it's a misrepresentation of what X Games generally stands for. Generally, every year it's a brand new course. Okay. Nobody's ridden this course. Like Olympics. Imagine the uproar if the 2021 or 2020 Olympics course was like Claremont Skate Park, where a handful of American guys sesh weekly and all these other people competing have never ridden before. It's like these guys obviously have an advantage. And that's how I feel about Pat Casey's backyard being the park competition and him still competing in it. I think he should have got first in the park if it's his anyway, hey, stuff happens. Kevin's a beast. But Andy Buckworth lives over there and rides over there often. Kevin lives in San Diego and rides over there very often. So they have a lot more advantage than, say, Mike Varga. And I mean, Daniel Sandoval rides over there too. But a handful of guys that are Willie, right? He's never ridden there. So is that fair that Pat gets to compete for this prize money, which I think a gold at X Games is like 20 or 30 grand? Is that fair that he gets to do that, like, with that much of an advantage? I don't know, right? Obviously, they went ahead, they did it, but to me, the representation of X Games is that it's a clean slate. Every park is brand new, every park is different. Everyone competes on a level playing field with no prior riding the park. Okay. So then when they do this, it's a change from what they normally do. And that's all. Like, is it fair? No. But does it really matter? Whatever. Pat made hosting. He got the money for hosting the event. He got first place in dirt. He got second place in park. Pat walked away with probably six figures. Easy. That's gonna be my guess. So respect for that. Put money in BMX and Pat hustle. Like, good job, dude. Now, do I think like there's an integrity issue there? I could not do that. I just don't think that that would be right. I'd be like, no, that's not fair. And maybe I'd be embarrassed of competing in my own park and not getting first too. Maybe that's something there. I don't know. So that's how I feel about the whole thing. What do you guys think? I'm really curious. Like, throw it in the comments because I posted this big long thing on Instagram and got in a lot of arguments about it because I just don't think that's right. I think it's right for Pat to make all the money he can and in BMX go crazy. But second thing about X Games, did you guys see our Willie's like, what would you call it? A double flip 360? Is that what you'd call it? He just like, he pulled off like this. It wasn't even like pulled off straight and then twisted. He just pulled off crooked and just, that was crazy. The 1260 or whatever, the Mike Varga best trick, crazy. Oh my God. I just see a lot of those highlights and I'm like really impressed with the riding and everything that they've got going on. But I didn't watch the whole thing. So a lot of I have like misinformed opinions that I just spew all over the internet to get into arguments, and it's kind of fun. So I didn't know they rebuilt the dirt jumps. I didn't watch it. I didn't like pay that much attention. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. Dallas says, "What's up, Doug? What's up, Dallas? Hope you guys enjoyed my rant." Louis says, if I get the Colt Red camo on my Sunday X, will it match? Probably not. If it's the 2021 Sunday X, that red is a little bit darker and a little more matte. The Colt Red camo probably will not. Felix says, I dented my chainstay. Do I need to get a new frame? So your chainstay is going to dent for a number of reasons. Maybe you threw your bike, maybe you spun and you hit it on a curb or a wall. Maybe you're you threw your bike and your crank arm flexed and hit the chainstay. Like that happens. My chainstay's dented. You're going to be just fine. It definitely happens. Now, if you ran it over with a car and dented it, okay, that's probably not fine, right? But if it's just got a little dent from like abuse and wear and tear and stuff like that, you're fine. It's going to be good. Now, if, and again, so running it over with your car, no. Little dent, yes. Your whole chain stays bent over to one direction from spins. High tensile steel, well, tri-moly frames do that because the front end's stronger, the back end's not so strong. So as you do spins, it starts to bend in the direction you're spinning. If it's bent like that, I'm gonna say probably not. Like, get a new frame. But other than that, you're fine. Just a little dent, you're good. Matthew says, should I get white grips or black? Definitely get black grips, man. The white grips get dirty really fast and it's kind of gross. And then you look at it and you'll say, this is gross. And I should have got black grips. That's what's going to happen, I swear. And again, where'd you even find the 2022 Sunday primer in stock? Oh, wait. We're talking primer. We're not talking X. Fire red. Um, Black. Go with black or go with like, I mean, red and yellow would look kind of cool, I think. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm really picky about things like that. Like if you have, let's say, the nipples on your wheel are going to be an anodized red, and if I get a matte red sprocket, that's going to drive me crazy because the reds don't match. So then I'd have to find like an anodized red. And say same thing with that. Like if your bike's that matte fire engine red and you can't find the exact same looking color with the pedals, it would drive me crazy. And I think it's going to be hard for you to find that exact same matching color. Rob says, what company do you think is better, Fly or Sunday? Ooh, I'm going to say Sunday. I think Sunday is just a lot more core BMX. Like in terms of everything they do for the sport, I think they're a lot better. And I also think the quality of their stuff is a lot better. Guys, follow OTX Designs on Instagram. Let me find it. Because they manufacture a lot of Sundays stuff. So like one of these pictures, this is like the Sealy frame, really close up. This is all the never mind. This is all the Sealy frames hanging up after they've been painted. And what are these? Look at all these little caps. Oh, freewheel caps. Anyway, they do a lot and it looks amazing. The quality is just really good. So I'm going to say Sunday. That's just kind of a biased opinion because I like Sunday a lot more. Fly doesn't particularly do a whole lot here in the US. So Lucas, every time Lucas is in one of these live, he tells us how much money he's made flipping a bike. And I don't do it. Like maybe it's because we don't really have that kind of like market, right? The Facebook marketplace here in the US, nobody's selling a lot of bikes. So, Lucas, good job, man. I respect the hustle. Keep making the money. Yeah, no, Jared, definitely I think they knew it was going to happen, but then the Delta thing, right? California's borderline. I think California reinstated their mask mandate for indoors. So, X Games is fortunate to be able to even do it this year, and I think they just wanted to go for it. And I think this is going to be my speculation here, but I think they're going to 86 the whole building a brand new park for the competition. I think 10 years ago, X Games was huge. Everyone would travel, everyone would pay to get into X Games and watch. And I don't think people really care anymore. Like we can watch from home, we watch online, we still watch it, but it's not a huge desirable thing to go actually and see it. So I think they're like, huh, we probably don't need to spend all this money to have a huge venue to have all these seats and blah 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 blah. And we could save a lot of money just doing like little pop-up things or just paying to use somebody else's park and kind of pivot the direction that they're going with it. So I think this was a new thing for them for sure. And I think it's going to stay close to that path and not necessarily how it was last year or 2 years ago. So I think that's why it's so different for me. Matthew says, "What's the best bike I could get for 500 and under?" Kink Whip's gonna be right there. The 2021 Kink Switch is good. Spend a little more money and get the Sabrosa Letum, but it really depends on, like, your skill level, what kind of riding you wanna do, and your height. So, I'm gonna send you this link. Fill this out, okay? You just fill out that information. I send you a recommendation based on that, so it has 3 bikes that I think would be really good for you. So fill in this information here. I just posted the link, so click that, fill that out, and then you'll get a recommendation from me in about a day based on all that information because it's really hard if you're just, say I like to ride street. And it's like, okay, well, the devotion's good for street, but if you're a smaller guy, the devotion's terrible for you. Oh, the X is good for this, but if you like technical, you know what I mean? So there's a lot more to it than just a budget. John Talon Marriott says, or should I? What was the first part of the question? John, I missed part of your question. My frame is green with gold stickers on it, and everything else is black. I'm trying to get a new pair of bars and forks. What color should I go for? Or should I strip my frame to chrome and get chrome bars and forks? I love the chrome look. That was I had a bike that was mostly chrome with red. So mostly chrome with like say red stem bolts, red nipples, red hubs, red sprocket, and that's probably about it. So it's like mostly chrome with those hints of red, and I think it looked sick. Chrome's always a little more expensive, but it looks so good. It also looks flashy. So if you live anywhere that people might steal your bike, maybe don't go with the chrome. Go with something less flashy for sure. Anakin Skywalker says, buy a bike with pegs or buy them separate. Most of the pegs that are going to come on a bike are going to be pretty junk anyway, and you're going to end up buying the pegs again. So I wouldn't make it a huge priority to buy a bike with pegs. I would just buy the bike that's right for you and then buy pegs later. If the bike that's right for you comes with pegs, that's a bonus, right? But if it doesn't, don't stress too much about it. Luis wants to learn how to ride better and then get new parts. I'm gonna tell you guys a story real quick. That's how it was for me. My parents bought me this bike. It was 19.5-inch top tube, tiny bike. I was like probably 5'8", 5'9". I was a tall kid. Okay, and the bike was way too small for me. However, I rode it, okay, and then I bent the bars. So then I bought new bars. I bent the forks. I got new forks. And that's how it's going to go. As you progress, stuff's going to break, you're going to upgrade it. If you start off with a higher quality bike, that's not going to happen as much, obviously. But if you start out with a real low quality bike, just expect it to happen because you're going to progress and things are supposed to break. Imagine how many bike companies would go out of business if none of their stuff ever broke. They'd go out of business because people have to buy stuff. So, yeah, so just plan for it, work on the progression. That's the biggest thing. I love that mentality. All right. And then let's see. So Jared says, I think this year they didn't know if it was going to happen. They didn't have time to get a venue and build a park. And they said, and none of the guys cared. And being new to it, guys had fresh look and came up with unique lines. That's a interesting insight. EMB says, honestly, if you host an event, it almost seems more wholesome to have someone else win, but also would be nice to crush your own event. And Jared says Skate USA has some lower end 2021s and a couple full chromoly colony bikes. All right, cool, cool. So let's see. Lucas had to go. Lucas, we'll see you next week, man. Have a good night. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Um, ooh, look, we're almost at an hour and we're kind of running out of questions. So that's exciting. Lewis is 5'11 and he's still got the Sunday X. Did you get the 20.75? That's going to be just a little bit tall, but you might enjoy it, because it's a little more responsive. So that's cool. Matthew says, will the turquoise Colt camo tires match the white Devotion? I think turquoise and white goes together. Yeah, for sure. The white Devotion's mostly white and black, so I don't see why not. I don't know if it would look great, but I'm kind of against the camo tires. It sounds like everyone loves them. Um, I don't, whoops, I don't think the Colt Vans are that good. That for street riding, okay, they're good. But anything else, like in a park setting, they're super slippery. They don't have any knurling. They don't have like stuff like that. Uh, I just watched my friend at one of the parks go, and he just carved a quarter and it slipped up like that. Smacked his head. It's like those tires suck, bro. But if you're just riding street, I guess you're good. So I don't think they're that great. I think it's a cool collaboration. I think Colton Vans, like them going together on stuff like that, that's really sick. But I don't think that they're the best. Demolition Momentums, best tires you'll ever ride for sure. Ooh, Omar changed his sprocket, got a half link chain, he got new pedals, and now he's looking for the lightest wheels and forks. I'm gonna send you the forks or a link to the forks because I've rode Fit Shiv and Fit Blade forks, and both of those forks are very, very light. Also rode I break a lot of forks, I guess, but a lot of they're really light, but they don't last that long. So what I would go with is probably the R25s. I think they're a really general geometry for BMX. And look, they're on sale right now at Dan's Comp for 154. They're black, but I'll send you this link because they have a lifetime warranty. None of the forks I've ridden and broke had a lifetime warranty, so I really wish that I'd gotten some with that. And now that I have these, even though they're old, like I'm still confident they're going to be just fine. So check those out. You don't want to worry too much about weight, even though these are pretty light. What are they? 31 ounces. They're not super light. And then wheels, anytime I've bought wheels, I build them up separate. So I buy the hoops, I buy the spokes, I buy the nipples, I buy the hubs. And if you buy them all through like say Dan's or through Albies, whoever you decide to buy your wheels from, if you buy everything together, they'll build it for you. And just look at like what works good for you. So I ride ancient rims. I ride Sun Rhinolite rims, which I could only find on Amazon because I think Sun like quit doing BMX, but they're light and they're only either $20 a hoop or $40 a hoop. And I've never had an issue with one. So that's what I ride. I don't spend $80 on the 7K A rims because I don't abuse rims that much. I don't need to spend that much. And I went with tie spokes on my last build because it'd be super light, alloy nipples versus brass nipples because that saves a lot of weight. And then I run Profile Mini hubs. So if you're looking to copy me, that's a really light wheel set that's pretty solid. I think Profile Mini hubs are the best you can ever get. Rims, Odyssey Hazard lights are really good. Alienation makes a really good rim. And if you can afford it, go with the titanium spokes. But if you can't, definitely go with double butted. Don't go with just the normal spokes because on your wheels, that weight saving is rotational weight. So when you're spinning, when you're in the air, whatever, that weight makes so much more of a difference than it would from, say, just your cranks or something like that. So on your wheels, it's okay to be psycho and save a lot of weight. Dallas is riding. Dallas, are you in El Paso by any chance? I feel like you are. He's riding the 2021 Panza Signature Cult Devotion, and I'm thinking about getting a new frame. What frame should I get? I have half cabs from the top quarter pipe down. That's pretty sick, man. Look at a We the People frame. I think they would be a solid, like any of them. I mean, you've got to find one that fits your riding, right? And I don't know what your style is. So maybe the Felix Pragenberg one would be sick. It sounds like not the, what's the strong guy one? Is it the Quambeck? Does Quambeck ride for We the People? Let's look. I can't even think what the Felix frame is called. Oh, Dylan Lloyd, that's the one I was thinking of, the strong guy one. Um, the Battleship. The Doomsayer frame is really solid. And hold on, let me find Doomsayer frame. Doomsayer. I don't know. Look at the We the People ones. When I was doing the reviews on just the frames, like putting the specs on my website and looking at them, I was like, these are sick. And I almost decided I was going to buy a We the People frame next, but I'm not going to. But I think you should, Dallas. Take a look at it. Check it out. Now we're talking about the Shadow Serpent tires. And if they're the really light ones that I'm thinking of, they're not that good. But hold on. Because there's two, right? There's the serpent tires and then there's the welterweight. Is that right? Hold on. I gotta look. Okay, so the serpent tires are crazy, crazy light, but they're not gonna be that good. Just because I don't know. They with them being that light, like imagine you chip a little rock on the side and that whole tire slices up. So just little things like that, even if you get the folding one that's Kevlar, it's not going to be able to take the same amount of abuse. Now, however, people buy tubalitos for $40 for just the tube, blow the tube out and then replace it like it's nothing. So if you're fine with that, get these really light tires because again, that's rotational weight. Just know that they're not going to last like the heavier tires do. So, yeah, I mean it depends what you need them for. I mean, that's the only way to answer that question. Matthew is peacing out. Matthew, we're about to end this live anyway, man. But thanks for hanging out. Thank you for subbing. I think that's so sick. I never ask you guys to sub, and then when it happens, I'm like, love it. Um, yes, Dallas says momentums are the best tires. Good job, Dallas. I agree. We're drinking the momentum Kool-Aid. They're the best for sure. Um, any other last minute questions? Jonathan says rate the Sabrosa Malum 1 through 10. I think the Malum is for a mid-level dirt rider, it's a 9. For a mid-level park rider, it's a 4. For a brand new dirt rider, it's a 6. It depends, but it is geared a little more towards dirt just from that geometry or flowy like park riding or um, what do you say? Not technical street riding, but things like that because it's not super responsive. That's why I say it's more for dirt. But it does depend on what you're going to be doing with it. Overall, value of the bike, it's like a 7 or 8. I think for the price, you're getting a really solid bike. I wish it was right at 500 and not necessarily 540, but oh well, you can't get everything, right? You can't get everything. Keith says, would you ever recommend a cassette for park or street? Pat Casey rides a free coaster, kills it in park. Most park riders are going to be riding cassette. Most street riders are going to be riding a free coaster. Each thing has its own just different things are easier. So, for example, with a free coaster, you don't have pedal pressure. So, if you try to manual 180 and you rely on pedal pressure, you're not going to be able to do that with a free coaster, or you're going to have to relearn it. Um, what else? Fakies. Okay, so half cabs. A lot of people use pedal pressure to pop their half cabs. On a free coaster, you're not going to get that. But then again, when you're timing a half cab downstairs, if you have a cassette, you have to time that foot placement to be just perfect by speeding up or slowing down how fast you're pedaling backwards so that when you pivot for the half cab, your timing's just right. So a lot of things are so complex and it's like you just got to pick one that suits your style. You know what I mean? Devin, no, Devin, not perfect timing, man. We're about to end the live. We're at an hour. We'll answer Devin's. I can't think of a name says Shadow or Odyssey. I'm gonna go with Odyssey. I think Shadow's a cool brand, but I don't really like. I don't know. I don't like a lot of their parts. I rode some of their stuff early on when I was starting out, and I broke everything. So I'm like, Shadow's not that great. But Devin says, what do you think of the newer Panza frame from Colt, the pink and blue? Ooh, I've got to look at it. Is it the Angie colorway? I'm not seeing it unless it's this white with a little bit of blue. Oh, that's interesting. It's like the top parts are blue, huh? I think with that, you can make some really sick looking bikes. I always think about people who build up like custom bikes and then sell them. Like with this bike, I'm imagining something blue tires, okay, white frame, blue tires, probably black rims, black hubs with white spokes, maybe, blue pedals, blue grips. You could do a lot with that and like make a really sick looking bike. That's cool. I love that. I love that. All right, cool guys. So, any last minute questions? Mateo says, "Can you put pegs on the Malum?" Yes, you can. You just have to make sure they're the right pegs and you make sure they've got the adapter. Um, I want you guys to do me a favor, okay? We've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I want you guys to ride as much as you can in those 5 days. Try and learn a new trick. So when you see me next weekend on the live, I'm going to ask you guys what trick you learned, and you better have an answer for me. Otherwise, I'm going to be pretty upset. Okay. So yeah, Mateo, pegs are going to come big enough to fit on a back axle, but they're also going to come with a smaller 3/8 adapter so that they fit on the front axle. Okay. Anyway, guys, all week, ride, 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 ride. And then next weekend, we'll check in. We'll see how you did. If you need anything from me, guys, shoot me an email or yeah, check in. I'm always here to help you guys out. We'll see you next weekend on the live. Peace.